Hello everybody. I made this video a little bit differently than I have lately. I edited it a lot less and I showed a few more things and stuff. And what I want to know is if it's like seeing this kind of video more than where I take out quite a bit of stuff. Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hello. So, my piston rings came in, and I'm up here trying to get the pistons, a couple of the pistons put in, and I figured I would show you what I'm doing. So, the engine had ran so long with the rings wore out that the pistons have a groove for an oil ring, and that groove has holes in it for the oil to run back through the piston, and they're full of burnt carbon, every one of them. I tried soaking them for a couple days in gas. I tried scraping at them with a wire. I tried poking through them, and nothing was getting through them. So I'm taking this drill and real carefully drilling back through the holes. Not taking that much effort, and this drill bit's a little bit smaller than the hole, so all I'm trying to do is get them back open. I know you can't see it. They're all open. You might be able to see the dust, the carbon on my pants sleeve. Now, I'm taking this wire brush, and anywhere that there's carbon where the rings go, I'm cleaning it. That looks pretty good. Pistons are clean. Piston's clean. It's drilled back out. And I'm going to try to show you this, the way I put the rings on. So, Molly, Perfect Circle. They're cast race. These ran me, after shipping, $39. So by the way, I'm going to do this all on video again when I show the engine assembly video. So this is just a quickie. You make sure that I always put the oil scrapers 180 out, and then put the second ring in. Like this. Now, I've always been told that once you put a piston ring on a piston, you want to check it to make sure it ain't too tight or too loose. These have a little movement. The ring lands, you know, I'm sure they're wore out, but oh, and you know, dot goes up on these. Want to see that trick on camera? You put one end in your hand, put the other end in a ring groove, and you walk it on like that. Probably not supposed to do that, but they're on. So open your ring compressor. Take oil. Put some on the pin. On the rings. Put your ring compressor on. Alright, I'll show you something else in a second. Then wipe out the rod. Wipe off the back of the bearing. Put the bearing back in its home. I'll put some oil on the crank instead of on the bearing. Then, give me a second. Now, like I think I mentioned, I'm going to try to show you more of this when I'm making the video assembling that engine. I'm going to show you putting in one of the pistons and torquing everything. Stock piston dot goes up on this side, tang goes out. Always check it again. All right. Crank's all the way down, so I'm not gonna hurt it. Pistons in. It's old Lyle. Dad's initials. Can't see them. Yeah, compressors put together in many of an engine. Now, get under the motor. Catch the rod, bolts. You don't want to hit the crank with the rod bolts. You can also put a piece of 3/8 fuel line hose on that too. I'm wiping everything. All right. Oh, and I wanted to show you, and this is just my a little bit of OCD more than anything else. You see the shiny on that nut versus this side. I always like to put them back up where the shiny's touching the cap the same as it was. Okay. Let me show you this. All right. I'm just bumping them. They're not tight. They're snug. After I get all the rods and pistons in, I'll turn the motor almost upside down. And I'll torque all the rods. And then when I'm putting it together, I believe I showed you is where I took the rear main seal out. So only have to torque those main bolts and the rods. After you put a piston in each time, you make sure that you can still turn the crank. So those two are in. I'll do all but one more off camera, and then for my main video I'll show putting one in. It depends on how good the video was on that. I might do it similarly, or I might try better to make sure that I'm actually showing more details. I figured when it comes to putting this back together that a few of you might like to see a mixture of right and half-ass. So it's neither one, it's in between. Alright, so I used some all you need polyester primer, one coat, because all I'm using it for isn't to fill any dents. It's to make sure that the clear edges and stuff are sealed and something that won't let the paint interact with it. So after that dries and I prime the roof, because I didn't get up there. I can do that or I can do this, so I went ahead and done all that. When I scuffed it all everywhere, of course I have to untape everything. I have to wet sand everything, and then I can wash it again one more time and then tape it back up, and then I can paint it. So there's the short little update on it. That's a big mother. So I showed a little bit on the Yukon when it gets together the rest of the way and ready to paint. I'll show a little bit more on it, but that's probably going to be the last time I try to do very many bodywork video on something like that, other than just Chevelles, stuff like that. The majority of the time it's just going to be, the majority of my videos anymore are just going to be an occasional repair kind of, I want to try to show more big block stuff and more Chevelle stuff, and just kind of stray away from the body work and random stuff. There's not really, I don't have very much interest in trying to show any of that. I like showing this kind of stuff more. I like showing, for a lack of, I guess, better way of saying it, I just like showing more half-ass, backwoods ways of doing things. I like showing that more. I think a few people like seeing it. So And if you happen to remember, I told in the first video on this that in at least 40 years, it hasn't been apart, except for a timing chain, and when I cleaned out the sludge to fix the oil pump problem, it hadn't been apart. Well, I wanted a Morse timing chain. One of those original style timing chains with the teeth, you know, the full width teeth instead of double roller, because it had ran forever like that. And the guy that ordered it for me could only get a true roller. You know, one of the Chloe's true rollers, which should have been a good chain. That was, well, I know it was 25,000 miles ago on that engine, but it was about 2014 or 15. So about 5 or 6 years ago, I put a timing chain in this. Now, I'm saying this, I know that chain's wearing. I know that they're wearing. But in 25 or, 20, 25, 30,000 miles, it shouldn't be that loose for a true roller, a good chain. To me, it's, it's not that it's overly loose, it's just that this engine hasn't been line honed. It hasn't been, the cam bearings are in great shape. The main bearings are in great shape. It's just the chain's loose again. And I wouldn't have thought that it would have been like that in as few a miles that is. That's why I wanted a Morse type. You see, it ain't wore out any. It's still in good shape. That might be normal. It's just, I can say this. The 375 horse and 70 right now, that block had been line honed quite a bit. That block had a hard life. But this one, that chain's looser than the one that's in that 375 horse. And the 375 horse, I put it back together with a used chain. A used chain that I got out of a junkyard engine because it was an old Chloe's true roller with adjustable crank gear. So it was date marked, 70s. So that just shows you brands don't mean anything anymore. Back in the day, Melling, Chloe's, everything was a good brand. Chloe's isn't anymore. I don't know anything really about Melling, but I'm sure it's not as good as it used to be. So, anyway, I hope you liked the video. Tell me if I don't know. I know a bunch of people ain't gonna make it to the end of this video, so if you make it to the end of the video, tell me if you have ever put rings on a piston like that, or had to drill out the drain holes in the oil return to make them work. I'm just curious. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more. I'll see you later. God bless.